Good day, everyone. My name's Kathy, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Don't even know why I have that there. Today's episode is going to be based on this past Friday's Craft Roulette Challenge, and I'll have the link to that episode below. If you haven't heard of Craft Roulette, I recommend you go to their channel and check them out. It's an amazing thing that it gives you a lot of inspiration for making projects. This past Friday, we needed to make a birthday card with the colors of a petting zoo using a scoop, and it had to have tabs. Well, when I think of a petting zoo, I think of deer and goats, sheep, little piggies. So I went with kind of browns, earth tones. And I added a little bit of gold because sometimes their eyes are golden yellow and just sparkle. So let's get started. I'm using, and I've already cut it out, but I'm using this paper pack that I got many years ago at Joann Fabrics. This is from DCWV, the Heirloom Stack. It's a gorgeous stack. It's just plain old paper. It's not cardstock. I chose this particular sheet and this sheet. So what I did, now we can set these aside. I don't need those anymore for right now. And I apologize for no video yesterday. I haven't been feeling well, and I'm still not feeling well today, but I wanted to get a video out for you. Doing my normal 5x7 card, and this is going to be a horizontal card. 10 inches by 7 inches piece of cardstock. You score it at the 5-inch mark, fold it over, and crease it with your bone folder. Then I chose a piece, this is a dark golden cardstock that I got from Joann Fabrics quite a few years ago. Pardon me while I get a drink here. It is a cardstock pack just full of glittered paper, and this is a thin cardstock. And then I used one of my favorite die sets, the Waffle Flower 5x7 Lacy Layers die set. And I'm going to sit down and let's get started putting this card together. Now, for the back part of this card, I used the largest of the lacy layers, but as you see, I've made it smaller. And how you can make it smaller, and I'm going to show you how to do that, is you just put this back down in, like say this was the full size. I slide it over to where I want it to be, tape it down, so and then I cut it. I guess that's really hard to describe right now, but, oh, okay, here we go. My paper was shorter, and I just slid it down here. You can see I have a little piece of washi tape there. That's where I taped this down. So it cuts off this end, and anything down here that has already been cut doesn't get cut again. So you just make sure you've lined it up in your stencil, and then run through the die cut again. Let me show you that real quick, just so you get the idea of how to use that die and make it fit your project. So I've got, well, that's probably not a good piece to use. So let's see. Well, all right, we'll use this mirrored cardstock. All right, so I'll cut this out of the largest size. And I'll run that through my Anna Griffin machine here. Okay, so this is die cut out, but say you want it smaller than that. So you figure out how much smaller. Do you want it this smaller? And that looks like a good size. So I'm just going to put a little piece of washi tape. I always keep a roll of that here at my desk. Pardon me. And you just tape it down where you want it to be. So this end is going to get cut off. This end will not get cut off. But just line it up in your stencil, just like that. And then turn it back over and run it through again. Okay, well, I leaned over and I hit the button again. So now you have a smaller. You can make this any size you want, and you would do the same if you wanted it narrower. Just hook up one, you know, where you want it to cut. Line it up, and you can make it whatever size you need it to be. And then you've got a cute little decorative edge. I hope that makes sense. Because I love the lacy layers, but I would love to have these all be the scalloped, because there's one in between there, but it wasn't scalloped, and I wanted the scalloped edge for this card. Okay, set these aside, set this aside. All right, so I'm going to put my cardstock on here first. Making the die the size you want is especially helpful like when you're cutting out patterned paper and you don't want everything to show on that. Okay, now this big piece, this is just plain old paper, and this is the one I cut down. Normally, as you can see, this would have fit almost the whole way. Now this has a more, oh, sorry about that. I guess I should have skipped again today, but I wanted to make a video. I want to give it a little bit more of a bordered edge. And we're just going to glue that down. Okay, now I did cut out that large piece. I just cut out the happy and a little bit of the letter because I'm using the letter as my scoop. Someone wrote you and told you about the news so that you're getting the scoop. But since I want this to be a flap and this is just paper, so I cut out another piece the same size in white cardstock, and I'm just going to glue these together. Now I am going to take a piece of tape. Since I want this to be hinged and fairly quickly used, let's see, it needs to go this way. I'm going to put a piece down here, and I'm just using the red double-sided tape. I've had this for a while. It is quite sticky. I just need to burnish that down. I used to make candy bar wrappers, and I've had this tape when I made the wrappers for candy bars. Okay, now I want to put this so that it will be kind of centered, but I want to match up my scallops as best I can. And that looks pretty good. Now you see that heart in the back is sticking out, and that's okay. But now we can bend this just the slightest so that people will see that you can open that. But there is a tab element, and I have this, I don't even know where it came from. This is a little tab die for making like mini file folders, gift card labels, and I'm going to put that on here. But I'm going to color that. Okay, get a piece of scratch paper. As I didn't have the color paper I wanted it to be, so I'm using my Ohuhu markers E191 in the color cream. But I don't think I want the outer tab to show on the front. So I'm going to glue this together and just have that sticking out, because I don't think that, well, I think it would look all right. Yes, I think it will look okay. So let's just glue this down. And make sure I cover up the heart that's sticking out, because I can put a few embellishments on here. Now, I've also got the word birthday, because I already have happy on here that came with it. So I'm going to color birthday, and I want this to be chocolatey brown. So I chose E533 chestnut brown, and I'm only going to color birthday and a little tittle on the B. And then I'll cut off the happy part. I did have chocolate brown paper, but I am trying to use up my white scraps, of which I have a ton, well, almost a literal ton of, it seems like. So I wanted to do it this way. And now I'm going to lift it up to see if I missed any spots, because it is kind of hard to tell when you're coloring white on a white piece of paper whether you have hit all the areas or not. And that looks pretty good. So now I will just cut off the happy. And I'll come back and get the dot for the eye. And I want to put that kind of right here. Trying to stay on camera. I apologize if I go off camera. There it is. Get my tweezers. And cut off the dot for the eye. And I'm just going to put, after I take the glue cap off, I'm going to put a little dot of glue just above the eye. And then turn this over, hopefully. Well, I used to like these tweezers from Amazon. However, the tips bend very, very easily. So I need to bend them back. It's a nice little set. It comes with the angled tweezers, pokey tools, and these in a nice little box, but I don't think I can recommend them any longer. They only lasted about 2 months. Okay, now on the inside of the card, well, under the flap, I have, I used, this is Spellbinders Fluted Classic Circles. And I put on here, it has 9 dies so that I remember. And I cut out this gold circle. And I want that to go underneath there. So let's get that down. I'm also going to put this inside on here, but I'm going to stamp on that first. So get my stamping platform. And I believe these stamps are either Spellbinders or GinaK. I'm going to have to look them up, but not today. I think I will be heading back to sleep here once I get this card done. Do you ever get sick where you're just exhausted? And that's just the way I am today, and have been for a couple days now. All right, this says, celebrate. I wish I was there to celebrate with you. So this would be a card that you would send off to somebody. And I want to go along the line of the dark brown. So I'm using this VersaFine Clair in the color Acorn. It's actually a very nice color. It's a more reddy brown, and then a dark chocolate brown. But it looks dark chocolate if you don't look at it that close. Okay. I could have used one of the colors from close to my heart, but this, I think, goes well. We're just going to put these stamps back on. This one doesn't stick anymore, so I have to get that one glued down. All right. Set that aside. I need to add a little bit more glue here, I can see. All right, and we're going to open that up, and we're going to glue this down flat. I don't want to put bulk behind it. And I'm going to angle that a little bit. I like the looks of an angled sentiment, and angling them on purpose also works really well if you have trouble with lining things up so they're straight. So if you angle it, it doesn't really matter if you got it on straight. You know, and I think that birthday needs a little bit of glitter. So let me get my stickles, not my stickles, my, Wink of Stella. I'm just going to run that across this birthday. And I'm using the clear. It's just going to add a little bit of glimmer, not a lot. Wink of Stella just gives a hint of shine. Okay, now I am going to add a few little sequins on here. I think the gold would be too gold. And this is kind of a peachy orangey gold. And I think that would actually look nice. I'm going to write, which I probably shouldn't do when I'm not healthy, but I'm going to write open right on this tab. There we go, open. And then I'm going to put a couple of little rhinestones right on the tab. We're going to do, oh, I don't want to use my big one. We're going to do 3. We'll do 1 on each end and 1 in the middle. Now, I do like my angled tweezers from this set, but they also tend to bend. Well, I wasn't going to go for the gold, but I went with the gold, and it looks okay. All right, so we've got 3 there. I think I want to put 1 here. And 1 there. And let's see how that looks. We'll go with the medium size. Okay, I think that's it. All right, let me go over the parameters for this challenge and see if I have met them all. The project is a birthday card, check. Colors are petting zoo. I've got the the creams, if you have llamas, goats, sheep, some have cows. We have a local deer. So you've got the darker browns, the golden colors from their eyes, pink from flowers surrounding the zoo. Element scoop. Here we have the envelope and the letter that was inside the envelope. So you're getting the news, you're getting the scoop, and a random element of a tab. And we have a tab. Okay, that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And stay healthy, please.